My sister told the family 6 months ago she's into girls. Mom and Dad, plus her manager, thought she was overwhelmed. Like something snapped and shipped her off for treatment. Without Yoshida, she actually got completely better. After therapy, not only did her orientation straighten out, but her mental state was brighter than ever. Now she's constantly fidgeting and complaining about needing a man, like, right now. Mom, I can't take it anymore. I need a guy to hold me, soothe my lonely, empty heart. Men? What an incredible species. I'd be wasting my life if I never had one. She licked her lips and lit up like she'd just seen the Holy Grail. Since falling for men, she's been begging to join a dating show, just to taste that sweet romance. Mom and Dad were driven nearly insane by her demands. They finally gave in just to keep the peace. Worried she'd go full-on demon on camera, like tongue-whipping a host till he's crispy, they made me tag along to keep an eye on her. I stared at my sister, who was now shoving the kitten's head into her mouth. Silence. Who's this little cutie? Oh wow. She's from a real beauty's house. Gotta kiss you to death. Nibble your skull all over. Honestly, I swear that's Leo's vibe. But then I saw the 6-figure fee, so maybe even Leo isn't as qualified as I am. I was a mess, sniffling and blubbering. Don't worry, Mom and Dad. I've got this huge responsibility under control. Heartbeat in Motion is a live dating reality show. 8 guests total, 4 men. For women, a mix of celebs and regular folks. The real drama? The sudden arrival of film icon William. With years in the industry, he'd never been linked with any other performer. Cool and reserved, practically a walking iceberg. His gentlemanly manners were so rigid they'd nearly fused to his skin. Joining a dating show? That was pure fantasy, like something out of a miracle. Fans nicknamed him the Ice Lotus of Hollywood. Frosty but flawless. Looks, talent, and character all top tier. He'd be the perfect match for my sister. I was already plotting how to set him up with her in my head. When my sister and I arrived, everyone else had already taken their spots. She stared at the guys like she'd lost her mind. Drool practically hitting me in the face. Men are just men. Charlotte, for real, try to be normal. No one on set knew she was actually my sister. Everyone thought I was her unlucky friend. I was dragging 6 of her suitcases around like a madwoman behind her, sweating bullets, terrified she'd throw herself at the male cast members and dive straight into the 18-plus zone. Just as I was heaving under the weight, a strong hand, long fingers, bones showing, grabbed 4 of the suitcases with ease. Let me help. William gave a small smile. His voice poured into my ear like clear mountain spring water. Pure magic. My future brother-in-law, my darling sister's husband-to-be. Who else would treat me like a real person? A full-blown movie star doing the grunt work for me. What an absolute legend. I flashed him my sweetest smile to make a good impression on my future brother-in-law. Thanks, William. Actually, I'd met William a few times before. I was on set visiting my sister's crew when the director noticed my face. It matched the sickly younger brother who clings to the lead actor in the drama. He asked if I'd like to audition. Acting opposite my idol? Hell yeah, I had to do it. Even though my screen time was minimal, just a few lines, I still managed to break hearts. That scene where the kid trembled and wiped his brother's tears? It went viral overnight. Brother, don't cry. I'm gonna build a castle in heaven first. My hands move real slow. I'll probably be done by the time you're 100. Then I'll hide you inside and we'll live there forever. Those few shots made me a name. Went from 0 to being officially 18th tier in the industry. Honestly, it was one of those full-throttle career climbs. Once all the guests arrived, the host kicked off the live segment. After self-intros wrapped, we moved into round 1 of heart selections. Online voting decided the power to choose would go to the men. The first 2 pairs had already picked, leaving just me, my sister, the movie legend, and sweet Sophia. Rock, paper, scissors. William won. He got to choose first. No idea what Sophia said to William, but he pursed his lips and nodded. Did they already click? What about my sister? If those 2 ended up paired as a fake couple, that'd leave only me and my sister, the wild one. Oh God, I'd rather die first. To stop this disaster from happening, I blushed hard and leaned in close to William, fidgeting nervously. Hey, can you please not pick Sophia? Back on set, I called him that all the time to stay in character. But now, out of context like this, the shame was doubling. Brave people get to enjoy the world first. This one's for my sister. I'm going all in. William froze, a flicker of something unreadable crossing his eyes. He gave a slow nod. My heart leapt with joy. I didn't notice the flush creeping up his ears. I thought I'd made myself clear enough. Not until he stood right in front of me did I realize just how badly I'd messed up. All three of us stared at William as he walked toward us, step by deliberate step. Each one landed like a hammer on my chest. I clenched my fists so tight my palms were slick with sweat. He locked eyes with me and smiled, soft but charged. "Hello, my love." Looking at the hand William extended towards me, I felt as if I'd been struck by lightning. My mind was like a tangled ball of yarn, completely messed up. Wait, no way. You picked me? Me? Dude, I'm straight. Seriously, my sister's husband. That's not happening. The whole thing left the host and crew completely stunned, watching me frozen in place, face pale as a ghost. The host leaned in with concern. "Jack? You okay?" I forced a laugh, grim and twisted, like someone trying to smile through tears. Yeah, totally fine. Totally fine. I'm confessing. Just let me go, please." Sobbing, I shot a desperate look at my sister, but she and Sophia were already locked in that electric tension. Eyes sparkling, hearts racing, completely ignoring me. My sister leaned close to Sophia's ear. "You've got a mole on your lip. It's so cute." "No, sis. Don't say that. I'm freaking out. You're the one into guys. Your whole thing was a lie. The rules are strict. If you make a move, it's final. No going back." Then William noticed my resistance. He stepped forward quietly, hesitated, then spoke. "Did I misunderstand and hurt your feelings?" "Sorry." William's eyes drooped a bit woefully, like a big dog that had done something wrong. I wanted to drop to my knees and bow to him. I couldn't believe the movie star was apologizing to me. "If you really hate me, pick someone else." William forced a bitter smile, feeling as if the whole world had deserted him, and it somehow made people feel sorry for him. I was the one who'd messed up, not him. But now I was making him suffer. I'm such a jerk. I stepped forward and grabbed his cold hand. "No, I mean, being with you really makes me happy." Couldn't exactly say my original plan was for him to pick my sister, so I just swallowed the truth and kept it inside. "I'm fine. Really, it's just worried people think two straight guys are boring." I forced out a nervous laugh. William let out a relieved smile and pulled me into his arms. "You're not mad? That's such a relief." I went rigid, my heart pounding hard. Just as I was about to push him away, he let go smoothly, like a friendly hug between pals. Perfectly innocent, no red flags. All I could do was swallow my tears and accept reality. "Have a pleasant cooperation." I stressed the word, cooperation. A quiet reminder to him, a warning to myself. Later, I'd find another chance. Set him up with my sister for real. The show paired guests by drawing lots for their date locations. William and I drew the ice rink, and we need to complete the pair's figure skating task required by the program crew. Meanwhile, my sister and Sophia got the pool. They'd have to help each other learn the required swimming strokes. "I've never swum before. Hope you don't mind teaching me." I couldn't believe those words came from my sister's mouth. Who was it that used to ride me like a sea lion in the water when we were kids? Seriously, I opened my mouth to respond, then stopped dead at her glare. Emma's the kind of girl who'd drown in a bath. The thoughtful producers handed each pair an allowance for their dates. I peeled open the envelope. Stacks of crisp, red cash staring back. "Bro, it's a grand $1,000, the highest amount among all four couples." "Michael's killer," William said softly, but the next second, couldn't even laugh. I glanced at the hint card and let out a shocked yelp. "Honey, love name challenge. Use honey to address your crush within 5 minutes, then get them to call you baby." I shut my eyes tight, wishing I could vanish right there. You people need a heart transplant. I snapped my head up, accidentally locking eyes with William. William cleared his throat, a faint blush creeping across his cheeks. My face burned. I stammered, "No, don't get the wrong idea. I wasn't calling you, not like that, not at all." The more I explained, the worse it sounded. I was done. "So who were you talking to?" William's gaze darkened slightly, a hint of quiet intensity creeping in. "Can't blow the mission. Gotta get that grand, even if it kills me." "It's you." I just wanted to call you honey. Is that a problem? I clenched my fists, jaw tight. William paused, his ears reddening as he gave a hesitant nod. Just one little MHM? I could have sworn he was made of wood. I gritted my teeth and pressed on. Honey, don't be so cold. He didn't move an inch, like a corpse in a coffin. I wasn't giving up, so I kept going. Honey, say something. He gave this weird half smile. Speak. I was done. Was he a robot or what? One honey. And my brain just crashed. William looked so pathetic. I couldn't bear to watch. I swear this tea drinker's been stringing my brother along, getting him to say honey all along. No need to wonder. He definitely is. Time was running out and I was about ready to cry, so I snapped. Honey, honey, honey. Just then, my sister quietly kicked me from behind. Ugh, stop dawdling. Just go for it already. I lost my balance and fell straight into William's arms. Charlotte, I hate you. William caught me before I could hit the ground. Baby, stop it. Watch where you're going. He brushed a hand over my tangled hair and smiled. That little baby sent shivers down my spine. I felt completely melted. Hearing the mission complete alert, I quickly regained my footing. It's all just some dumb idea from the producers. Believe me, I didn't mean to offend you. I almost swore on everything I had. If you think that was offensive, then maybe you should be more offensive with me. William whispered against my ear, voice low and rough. What even does that mean? By the time I caught up, William had already walked off ahead. The ice rink on Tuesday wasn't packed. William and I changed into our ice skating gear and stepped onto the ice. Even though I hadn't skated in ages, stepping onto the surface still felt instinctive. A smooth inside edge half jump brought back memories of my first time learning to skate. I only learned how to ice skate because of Charlotte. In middle school, Mom signed up Charlotte for lessons. She fell twice and refused to go back. Afraid Mom would find out she quit halfway, Charlotte tricked me into taking her place. I was still short in middle school, not even through my voice change yet. Put on a wig, and the teacher couldn't tell me from my sister, so she got to skip out and live it up while I ended up stuck doing her half-year skating class. That's how I met this seriously good skater guy. He'd patiently fix my form, keep lifting me back up every time I fell, cheer me on, wipe away my tears, and even hand me candy when I finally managed a shaky jump. Then I moved, and never saw him again. I let out a sigh, snapped back to reality, only to find William standing alone on the ice, frozen in place. I glided over to him, and he looked down, sheepish. I don't know how to skate. I'm just making things worse. I took his hand and gently pulled him into motion. It's fine. Don't panic, just hold on tight. I'll get you moving first, get you used to it. He nodded, grateful. Wait. Try pretending again? So the silver medalist in junior figure skating was actually me all along. Dude, don't be such a smooth talker. William, you'll say anything to hold your wife's hand. You're starting to feel kind of weird now. Straight up brick and hollow coal, so good. I'm obsessed. After warming up a bit, I kept guiding him as we slid along, giving him tips. Bend your knees slightly, lean forward a touch, eyes ahead, try gliding forward now. I encouraged him. William followed my instructions and moved forward. The ice suddenly buckled beneath him, throwing his balance off. I lunged forward and wrapped my arms around his waist to keep him from falling. Mr. Jack, the ice is so slick. I'm terrified. I'd been scared too when I first started skating. Falling was every bit as scary as it looked. I totally got where he was coming from. I gently patted his back, soothing him like a parent would. It's okay, don't worry. Trust me, I've got you. William clung to me tightly. You're really something, Mr. Jack. Honestly, I was kind of proud too. Teaching the guy who'd starred in half the blockbusters this year. A little pride swelled up inside me. I threw myself into coaching even harder. Under my guidance, William improved at lightning speed. Mr. Jack, if I'm learning this fast, any reward I want. I played the part perfectly, all dramatic flair. My dear student, name it and your teacher shall grant it. William lowered his eyes with a quiet smile, his gaze drifting to my lips. You mean anything at all? His stare burned hot, like it carried an unspoken hunger that left me flushed all over. When I looked back, though, the look was gone. Vanished like a ghost, as if it had never been. Still, something in me whispered he'd ask for something outrageous. I was stuck between a rock and a hard place, had to bluff my way through. Of course. Just as he was about to speak, a sharp scream ripped through the air behind us. Ah! A kid lost control and hurtled straight toward where we were standing. William reacted instantly, shoving me aside before throwing his arms around the child, crashing hard into the ice rink barrier. There was a loud thud that echoed across the rink. For a split second, everything around me faded. The world narrowed to just the rhythmic screech of ice skates slicing across the floor, growing louder and louder in my ears. William! I rushed over on my blades, handing the sobbing kid to his parents while kneeling beside him. He winced in pain. You okay? I grabbed his arm and practically dragged him off the ice, fumbling with his jacket to check for injuries. Sweat beaded on William's forehead. His voice was shaky, nothing like his usual strong tone. With all these people watching, this is not exactly the moment. Even now he had room for a joke. I pulled up his shirt. His back was bruised purple, and one arm hung stiffly at his side. My eyes stung with tears. Don't cry. It's not that bad. After what he just took, how could it not hurt? You're a beginner. You barely learned how to stand on the ice. Why'd you even jump in front of me? I snapped at him, voice tight with panic. He could have walked away unscathed, but he took that blow for me instead. Don't get mad, I'm fine. Jack's been looking out for me this whole time. It's about time I returned the favor. My chest tightened like someone had grabbed my heart and squeezed hard. Raw, aching, numb. He started to raise his hand to wipe my tears, but froze mid-motion, arm stiff with pain. Don't move, that's enough. We're almost at the hospital. I gripped his hand tighter. After the diagnosis, it was found that William had an elbow contusion and soft tissue damage to his back. I gently touched William's bruised back, my heart aching with deep concern. Just then, the director burst through the door, red-eyed and sniffling like he'd been crying for hours. William, go home and rest. Someone's already lined up to take over. I'm okay. I can keep going. William clenched his jaw hard. Quit pushing yourself, you're done. Trust me, the guy taking your spot is Samuel. He's totally into Jack. Has been begging for his number forever. So go on. Get out of here. You. What the hell, you? William took a deep breath and let out a laugh that was sharp, bitter, almost ugly. I'm hurt, not dead. But the director tried to speak again, but William cut him off. Director, I'm good now. Good? God save us. This guy's a miracle worker. To keep the shoot on track, William insisted on pushing through with his injury. The director was visibly moved. He's incredible. William got hurt because of me. I felt awful, so I took it upon myself to look after him. Jack, could you help me with a shower? William leaned against the doorframe, eyes wide and pleading. I nearly choked on my water. What? Shower? His white t-shirt clung to him, soaked through and molded to his six-pack. Hair slicked down, dripping. Looks like he tried washing himself but gave up halfway, so now he's asking for help. So effortlessly sexy, he doesn't even know it. The words popped into my head before I could stop them. What the hell am I thinking? I grabbed my glass and took a hard gulp, shaking off those weird thoughts like they were dust on my shirt. I can help you? But, that's kinda awkward, right? I turned away, too embarrassed to meet his eyes. William stepped forward, cupped my chin with one hand, and held my gaze. What's the big deal? We're both straight guys, nothing to be nervous about, right? His sharp, deep-set eyes flashed, like they could strip you bare from the inside out. Of course I am. I'm straight. I've got nothing to fear. I rushed to defend myself. William leaned down and let out a soft chuckle. Then, in an instant, his expression shifted. Then why won't you? Are you really turning me down? Think I'm too much trouble? If that's the case, then maybe No way. Dude, your acting is insane right now. I quickly clamped my hand over his mouth, terrified he'd say something even crazier on camera. I can't take the blame for fans torturing their idol. Stop it. Let me just help you wash up. I gritted my teeth. William's fox-like eyes crinkled at the corners, making him look even more like a sly little trickster who'd just gotten away with it. I marched into the bathroom like a man facing execution, covering the camera with a towel. Don't look. The words were for the audience and a little reminder to myself. Bro, you're being way too formal. Come on, man, your mindset's so small. You eat meat and we don't even get the broth. If you keep this up, I'm starting rumors. Just watch. I carefully pulled off William's t-shirt, like something out of a manga, broad shoulders, narrow waist, the perfect V-line on full display. The bathroom felt hotter than usual. Before even turning on the water, I was already drenched in sweat. I hadn't even turned on the water when William pinned my hand down. Mr. Jack, you don't take off your pants when taking a shower. My face burned. Every inch of skin where he'd touched felt like it was on fire. Just do it yourself. William leaned in, his voice a low whisper. Jack, what are you being so shy about? You straight guys never showered with anyone else before. He dragged out the word straight guy. I slapped his hand away, annoyed. Who's being awkward? I wasn't about to admit I'd never showered with anyone else in my life. I strayed ahead, fixed on the ripple of his throat. No glance sideways, not even a twitch. I moved like a mindless soap machine, utterly focused, just desperate to get this task over with and finish serving the king. Jack, please. Gentle, it hurts. So soft. I mentally rolled my eyes but slowed down anyway. The sensation in my hands was more intense than usual. Every pass, every rinse. It just made me hotter. Jack, your clothes are soaked. Why not just wash them together? William's burning stare landed right on top of my head. My heart kicked up a notch, but I played it cool. No thanks. Bathroom's kind of small. You go ahead and finish first. All right then. I could swear there was a hint of disappointment in his offhand reply. Must be my imagination. My brain went totally blank. I slowly followed William's gaze. And though I didn't see the embarrassing image I'd pictured, what I did see was still enough to blow my mind. I snapped my head away fast. William said it casually, like nothing. The bandage on my hips come loose from the water. Oh, that's what it is. I let out a long breath. He grinned lazily, eyes crinkling at the corners. What's with your face? Why so red? I waved a hand like I was trying to brush it off. It's just hot in here. He reached up, fingers almost touching my face. Then my phone in the living room rang. I grabbed a towel and yanked it over his head before he could touch me. You're done. I'll dry off after you take this call. And I bolted out of the bathroom like something was chasing me. I was sitting on the sofa, my heart still pounding like crazy. I answered Mom's video call. Dad and Mom were currently on vacation in Europe, calling to check up on my sister. They don't follow the entertainment world or watch this show. They said just seeing my sister made them uneasy. Like staring at her for too long would shorten their lifespan by a few years. Their only info about my sister's life came straight from me. How are your sister and William doing? On the first day of filming, I'd sworn to my parents I'd get William to join our family. No excuses. But now, they haven't even exchanged a dozen words. How do I explain that me and my future brother-in-law are playing pretend couple? And how do I delicately drop the fact that my sister and Sophia have already kissed? This afternoon, someone mentioned my sister nearly drowned while swimming. Only because Sophia gave her CPR did she make it out alive. Who exactly was the one drowning? My sister. Hearing that, I rolled my eyes so hard it hurt. My sister's really pulling out all the stops with this drama. If she can drown, I'll drink the whole Pacific dry. Facing the mess of reality, my head was spinning, stammering for minutes without a coherent answer. Mom kept talking on the other end. Michael? Say something. YVE, you been staring over there. Who's even out there? And nothing. I rubbed my face hard. About my sister. Just as I was about to speak, William suddenly stepped out of the bathroom. He stood right behind me. This is William, right? Hi, Auntie. William gave a polite nod, like some nervous new son-in-law meeting the family. William's such a handsome guy. Michael always talks about you. Is that so? William raised an eyebrow at me, smirking. I was terrified Mom would slip up, so I shot him a frantic look, urging him to leave. My eyes were practically twitching from blinking so hard. But he didn't budge. Instead, he started chatting with my mom, and she lit right up. You live with Michael? Alarm bells went off in my head. Mom, William beat me to it. Yes, Auntie. I got hurt, and Michael's been looking after me. Mom thought this was part of my little matchmaking plan. She gave me a big thumbs up. I said, Mom, don't get too excited yet. For the next few days, I still hadn't found a chance to set them up. only William kept clinging to me tighter than ever. He leaned on his injury like it gave him carte blanche to get even closer to me, wanted me to feed him at dinner, asked me to help with his clothes, insisted I hold him when he was scared of the dark, needed my arm steady as he shuffled to the bathroom. Every time he got near, I froze, face hot, heart racing. I hated this dizzying flutter in my chest. The more I felt it, the less in control I seemed to be. We already had one person who'd gone off the rails at home. I wasn't about to become number two. So when we got a second chance to choose our crush, I didn't hesitate. Sophia was my pick. I'm not okay with that. William's eyes went dark as midnight. I bit my lip. Please, William, stick to the rules. Meeting William's murderous, menacing gaze head-on, I took Sophia's hand and brushed past him. Real smooth, William. His voice was ice. I told myself it didn't matter. Just a stupid reality show. But the ache in my chest refused to fade. Once we were out of everyone's sight, I let go of Sophia's hand. Sophia was also straightforward. I don't know why you picked me, but the truth is I'm into Charlotte, and I'm not letting go. Damn girl, way too direct. Clearly William's got a thing for you. You're not exactly hiding it either. I kept my head down, silent. Finding someone you truly love in this vast sea of people is rare. Worrying too much about what others think just ruins a life that's already fleeting. With that, my sister shoved me aside and pulled Sophia into her arms. Sis. Sophia's eyes sparkled as she wrapped her arms around my sister's waist. I've taken care of the third wheel. Now we can get back to our perfect two-person world. Sophia, you're amazing. My sister smiled at her, soft and fond. That was my sister, no doubt about it. Sophia's words kept echoing in my mind long after. Later that night, I wandered downstairs for a walk. Then suddenly, a hand shot out from the alley and yanked me into the shadows. I was about to fight back, until I heard a sharp intake of breath. Ow! Only then did I recognize the face. It was William. You okay? I rushed to check his arm. William let out a bitter laugh. You still care? Thought you had ice in your veins. His voice wavered just slightly, like he was holding back tears. Good. Then I'm just dying to be with Sophia. Massive jealousy. I didn't say a word. It's late. Go on home. Get some rest. I just turned to leave when William hooked an arm around my waist. Is your heart made of stone? After chasing you this long, you just ditch me for some other girl. William was fuming. I know Charlotte's your sister, so that's why he'd known all along. And I know you were trying to set me up with her. Every word cut deeper, like a knife twisting in my chest. He buried his face against my shoulder and lightly nipped the back of my neck. Baby, you're so selfish. Why'd you pair us up without even asking me? My throat felt thick, like a wet sponge had been shoved in there, tight and aching. So, what about? I only want you. His voice was raw, strained to the edge of breaking. Each word seemed scraped out with every ounce of strength, hollow, heavy, hammering straight into my heart. My shoulder was damp, his tears, one drop after another, landed on my soul like acid burning through me. Baby, I love you so much. Don't push me away. Please hurt me a little. My heartbeat couldn't lie. I like him. Maybe liking someone doesn't need to be right or wrong. True love is just where your heart leads you. My sister was like that, and so am I. The real illness wasn't my sister. It was the people with prejudice in their hearts. For a moment, it all clicked into place. I turned to face William's soaked eyes. I'm sorry. I won't run anymore. Actually, I like you too. My cowardice made me keep running away. William's eyes lit up with relief. He pressed his hand to the back of my neck and kissed me. You've always been brave, baby. Two hearts that had longed to get close finally found each other in this moment. Ever since I got into a relationship with William, I've been happy every single day. On weekends, William came with me to pick up some things at my place. Just as we reached the door, he pinned me against it and leaned in, all sticky and eager for a kiss. I let him have his way, playing along with a soft surrender. Then his movements froze. He shot wide-eyed gaze over my shoulder. Auntie, what the hell kind of aunt? Wait a second. I went rigid, slowly turning around. There they were, my parents, who were supposed to be globetrotting. Standing at the doorstep with bags and suitcases, jaws literally dropping. My parents sat on the couch clutching their emergency heart pills. William and I stood before them like two scolded school kids. You said you were going to pair William off with your sister, make him part of the family. Now what's this? Oh, for heaven's sake. Mom, forced fruit doesn't get sweet. Besides, my sister already has someone. She's happy, really happy. I handed her a glass of water. And in this situation, how exactly isn't William part of the family now? Your sister's one thing, fine. But you? How could you? Just then, a rustling sound came from the door. Two figures tangled together emerged, winding their way from the entrance straight to the dining table. For a split second, 12 eyes locked. My sister just wrapped her arms around Sophia and waved casually. So many people here. After that, we four stood together facing our parents. You're trying to kill us. My parents both slammed their hands over their chests, looking like they just lost the will to live. I started forward, worried, but my sister stopped me with a look. No way. You can't even handle this? How are you supposed to survive life's real storms? You're in your 50s, this is when you push hard, not cower. Only the strong deserve to be our parents. My parents stared at my sister like she'd grown a second head. Woke up to being kicked out of parent status, pure cosmic reversal. For a second, my parents didn't feel pain, their anger vanished, and suddenly they were spry as ever. They yanked off their slippers and chased my sister around the house like it was a game of tag. The tension shattered. Now it was chaos, pure and utter. Mom, you call that strong? Look at me. I'm still in peak shape. 20 years of duo-ranked gaming stats are public, you know. My sister, always a rebel, wasn't backing down. Look at me. I'm bouncing back like nothing happened. Even Huatua would have said I'm a miracle worker. Dad, guess I'll take you to meet Huatua then. Funny? She paid for that joke with her life. Not long after, she finally gave in. Mom, Dad, I messed up. I'm sorry. Just then, I stepped in front of them. On the dating thing, my sister was right, and so was I. Back then, I was being stubborn and ganged up with you two to talk her down. Now I get it, we're no different from anyone else out there. We just want what's ours, our own happiness. My parents were silent for a beat. I took my mom's hand in mine. I know you and Dad only want us to be happy, but whether the shoes fit, only our feet know. And happiness? That's up to us to decide. Trust me, no matter what, we won't let you down. They looked at us both, shaking their heads like they were trying to mold steel from iron. Go away. Just go away. My sister and I exchanged a glance. No words needed. We both knew exactly what it meant. They'd agreed. The biggest wish parents ever have? Just that their kids are happy, and truly so. Before leaving, my sister wrapped her arms around our mom and dad's necks and pressed 2 loud kisses right on their cheeks. I love you guys forever. The end. Epilogue. The second month I'd been with William, I stumbled on an old photo tucked inside one of his books. 2 kids in ice skating uniforms. One bawling with tears streaming down her face, the other frowning and trying to comfort her. The more I stared, the more it clicked. Wasn't that me? With a wig on, crying like my heart was breaking. Suddenly, memories long buried came rushing back in a wave. I clenched the photo tight, furious. William, come here now. What's wrong, baby? Don't you remember me telling you about that older brother I used to talk about? The one who taught me to skate. He blinked, a flicker of recognition in his eyes. What's wrong? I found him. Turned out he wants to meet me. So, what do you think I should bring as a gift? I held his gaze, steady and sharp. What? Found him? Fake. William blurted out. I grinned, saying, how do you even know it's fake? I thought it was real. And that guy's seriously hot now. I gave a full-blown dazed-eyed look, which pissed William off something fierce. It's definitely fake. You're not going. Why? Just, no. Whatever. I'm going anyway. Seeing he couldn't talk me out of it, he finally came clean. Actually, that brother you're talking about? It's me. William lowered his head. So you're finally admitting it? I let out a cold laugh. When'd you figure me out? William gave in. The first time we filmed together. That early? You're even better at ice skating than I am. So why the hell did you lie about not knowing how to skate, just to grab my hand? I yanked his ear. Baby, I messed up. Didn't I just do it to chase you? What else could I do? You're a damn fool. Before I can react, he pulls me in and kisses me hard. Foolish idiot. But I love you, Jack. Don't forget. You still owe me that reward. I flush bright red and sock him in the arm. Ow. My arm hurts so bad. He groans, wincing. Good for you. Let me see. I gently check his arm. Then he flips me onto the bed in one smooth move. Staring at that smug, infuriating face, I know I've been played again. I get tricked every single day, and each time it's a new one. Still playing the innocent act? You're such a fake. But honestly, I'm kinda obsessed with that type.